Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Hey guys, today we're doing another side-by-side full comparison between the Galaxy Alpha and the iPhone 6. Now, this will be broken down over 9 different categories, so you can see either every video or you can just see the categories that you specifically are looking for to your purchasing reason. Now, to be fair, I do always give due when credit is due, so let's see which one of these is going to be the better phone, and more importantly, in which category. Let's find out. Look and feel between these two devices is definitely different, but a little bit of the same. Now, when it comes to the iPhone 6, it did go back to more like the original iPhone where the glass goes towards the back and then you have the unibody design on the back coming all the way around on the sides. Now, so it's more rounded, really, I would say it's nice except for these antennas. They really are just kind of, I wish they would be more minimal. On the gray, it is the least noticeable, but definitely on the silver and on the gold, it really just kind of takes away from the overall look of the device. I just wish it could have been more minimal, kind of like the HTC One does. But overall, it's not that bad to hold in the hand, and it feels nice, so it's a pretty good design. Now, when it comes to the Galaxy Alpha, Samsung really stepped out of its comfort zone and went for the full metal around the side. This metal does add a really nice texture, not to mention that, of course, between these two phones, the Alpha is lighter, thinner, and narrower, so overall it really does stand out as being more comfortable in the hand, especially with this soft texture. This texture on the back is plastic, so it's not metal like the edge is on the side, but what really stands out about this is that it feels good and it's not as slippery and feels very easy to hold and grip in the hand. It's funny because, you know, the metal design has been compared to the iPhone 5S, and really I would say it's a little bit beyond that, but it is similar to it. So in terms of holding it, I feel that it is a better grip, much like the iPhone 5S was a better grip than the iPhone 6. So overall, for look and feel, when asked a couple of different people, as well as myself, the look and feel does go actually to the Galaxy Alpha. It just seems to be the better overall for look and feel between these two devices. Now, when it comes to web browsing for these two devices, web browsing comparison will be decided by first the pixels per inch. So both of these are 720p display screens. With the iPhone 6, you have a 1334 by 750 screen, whereas on the Galaxy Alpha, you have a 1280 by 720. Both are over 300 pixels per inch, but the iPhone does beat it out at a 326 pixels per inch versus the 312 pixels per inch. So now we're going to see how each one does in terms of loading websites. Now these are connected to the same Wi-Fi connection, and they're both going, and each phone always handles things differently. Samsung typically goes quicker at first, but doesn't necessarily always finish before, and Apple just finish. And actually that was, when I saw this one finish, this one was finished too. So they might have been a second off, but really good in terms of how that went. In terms of moving up and down, both do very well. One thing I do like about Samsung is how quickly they move in comparison to the iPhone. Just moves a lot quicker to get to the bottom. And oops. And now we're going to try pinch to zoom. So pinch to zoom, I would say is a little bit better on the iPhone. Close, but they seem to hiccup a little bit at times, whereas this moves pretty fluidly. And now let's go double tapping. Oops. It seems like it's close, although this is moving quicker. It seems that it is also needing to rework the visual quicker on the text. Well, while it's loading, it's moving slower, but we'll give this one a tie actually. Both move fairly well. The pinch to zoom is a little bit better on the iPhone. However, the scrolling, I would say, is better on the Alpha in terms of how it moves through the screen. And the double tapping is about the same. Loading was about the same as well. So overall, it looks like you're going to have a very similar web browsing experience on these two devices. Sound quality is very important, especially when listening to music or watching a YouTube video through your speaker. Now for both of these two devices, you do have the speaker on the bottom, and we're going to play each of them side by side. First we're going to start off with the iPhone, and then we're going to switch to the Galaxy, and then switch back to the iPhone. So let's test them out and see how they do.
Scream my name, the curtain goes down, I remain the same. But all that money don't equal the price of fame. From LA to New York, Seattle to the Bay. I was a boy with a dream, had my head in the clouds. Now I'm sleeping first class, got a bed in the clouds. Hit my pops to pick me up, and he said he was proud. King shit with a beanie on instead of a crown. Yeah, counting on my blessings. Shout out to the most. Counting on my blessings. Shout out to the most high. Started from the bottom, now I'm sitting at the most high. Cheap seats to the business, now I'm literally so fly. Motivated by my brokenness, guess that's why they call it coach, right? Yeah. Back when I was broke, wipe the tears up out of my eye. Connected to my fans like we all up on that Wi-Fi. They say the sky's the limit, I'm just starting and I'm sky high.
So when it comes to these two devices, overall both are really good and clear. However, the iPhone is just a bit louder when it comes to the overall sound quality. So in this category, the iPhone 6 will take it. Watching videos. It's very important to most people. You always want a good phone to watch some nice videos on. So we're going to be comparing these two in terms of video playback now and seeing which one really is the best between the iPhone 6 and the Galaxy Alpha. The iPhone 6 is at the top and the Galaxy Alpha is at the bottom. So we're going to be playing the video and seeing which one really is the best. So when it comes to these two, it really is a difference between them. Overall, the Samsung just does look a little bit better. Now, the iPhone is very neutral tones, but this is really just a difference of LED versus LCD. LCDs are going to be very neutral, yes, but very just bland. On the Samsung, everything does pop, and if you want to have more neutral tones, you can actually switch it to not be so very bold and be more true to color. And as you can see, this is actually truer to color than this one is, because now this one looks more blue than this one does. So it's just it's the best of both worlds. You can have either the most neutral quality of screen, or you can have a very vibrant screen, and you have that ability on the Samsung, whereas the Apple, what you see is what you get. So overall, for video playback, it will go to the Galaxy Alpha. This is a camera comparison between the iPhone 6 and the Galaxy Alpha. The first thing we always take a look at is just how each one works. When it comes to these two devices, you have the front-facing camera both at the top left. You can customize all of the middle ones here, but both do come with HDR right from the get-go, although the Alpha does a much better job when it comes to HDR. Both have a good flash that's nice and bright, and Apple does have time-lapse, whereas Samsung has a lot of different additional modes. For Apple, you have video, slow motion, of course, like I said, time-lapse, photo, and square photo, and then, of course, panorama. For Samsung, you are going to have a lot more in terms of variety, but it depends on you which ones you like. Something like Beauty Face, something like Shot More, where you can edit after you've taken the photos. Of course, it has panorama, virtual tour, dual camera, and you can download many, many more. Overall, you're going to have more features on the Samsung, including the same slow motion, fast motion features, as well as something called smooth motion, which is the best in terms of video capability. So overall, video quality will be better on the Alpha, especially with smooth motion, where it films at 120 frames per second, which is something that Apple said it was going to do, but didn't really end up doing. Just kind of went away at the way. So let's actually see the photos now and see how they turned out. So with this photo, it actually is the closest tie out of the rear-facing camera. So we were across the street and we took a photo of a building, and in terms of being able to see it, the Samsung got in a lot more light, so you're able to see it. So at a distance, it definitely looks like the clear winner. However, when you zoom in a bit more, the Samsung is a bit fuzzy, and so is the iPhone, but it just kind of is closer than expected. So this is probably the closest one between the two in terms of what we saw, what we got. Now, both of these are a little bit off on color on this one. It's kind of in between. It's not this green, but it's not that dull either, and the street actually looked more like this color than this color. So neither one for color accuracy was completely perfect, but with this one it was closer to a tie. With this one, it was a complete blowout. You really just got not only detail, but just exactly what the color accuracy was. For some reason, these these are Dragon Balls. These are this color. They became brown on this picture. I don't know why, but they did become that color. Even just the lights, you can kind of see more clearly on each photo, where they're kind of faded over there, and you can see them very clearly on here. And of course, the stars themselves, you can actually see as well. So overall, and not only in terms of color reproduction, but clarity, it's going to go to the Alpha for this one. Now in terms of selfies, for all you selfie takers out there, the iPhone does have the better selfie cam between these two. Now, while the Alpha tried to let through more light, that made it very grainy overall, whereas on the iPhone, it definitely got a sharper picture. So for selfie takers, the iPhone 6 will be the better between the two. And then just for more of a detail shot, and for kind of to get an idea of how flower photos would be, and as well as food photos, it definitely goes to the Samsung, just letting through more light and just bringing out more detail and color rather than the iPhone, which just definitely missed the mark on this one. So for this picture, it will go to the Alpha. And then finally, a nice night photo. Between the two, although the iPhone did try to let through more light, it made it very grainy because of it, whereas the Alpha got a lot better looking photo, and we can see it definitely when we zoom in. You can see Subway is grained out, whereas you can see it right here, and you can see open, whereas you can't even attempt to see it on this screen right here. So overall, definitely for kind of those hard sunset shots, you're going to get a better picture with the Alpha. So overall, if you are looking for a better camera quality, it seems that the Alpha does an overall more consistently better job comparing to the iPhone 6. And the iPhone does have a little bit of advantage over the selfie aspect, but overall, if you want a better camera, you're going to go with the Galaxy Alpha. Gaming. Gaming is important to a lot of people out there, and when it comes to games, there's a lot of things you have to take into account. One, the variety of games and what is available out on the market. And then you have to take into account just what are you looking for and how good can it be played on the device. Overall, between the two, both stores have over 1 million apps, so a lot of them are good games out there, and a lot of them are games on both platforms. However, overall, for performance, the Alpha didn't stutter at all on our gaming test, but because Apple still is in the key point where it gets a few games that are lagging to get on Android about a month or even 2 weeks before, it really kind of falls back on it becomes early availability on an iPhone versus the Alpha. For that purpose, in terms of gaming, it will be given to the iPhone 6, although both are great performers in the gaming categories, which with the games they have. So overall, this category will go to the iPhone 6. Now, when it comes to using both devices, it's definitely clear, even while doing this comparison. I was using both phones a pretty good amount of time for today, and really it's amazing how much the iPhone drains when you really are using it. Standby time, the iPhone is great. As you can see, I kept it on standby time for 3 days, and it really didn't drain hardly anything. But upon using both devices today, it easily drained much quicker comparing to the Alpha, which did lose about 20%, 25% just in the review time alone. But the iPhone lost closer to 40%. So really, it can quickly trickle down much quicker than the Alpha did. And overall, in terms of battery life, I have continuously used them, and it really is, the Alpha does edge out the iPhone in terms of battery life. Not as good, either one is not as good as their higher end version, so this is nowhere near the quality of the Note 4, and this is nowhere near the quality of the iPhone Plus. But in battery life between these two devices, you are going to want to go with the Galaxy Alpha. Now, when it comes to extras, what do both devices bring to the table than just what comes on the device, or what does it really have that's extra that we don't have in every other smartphone? Well, the extra feature that the iPhone has definitely has to be the Touch ID. Touch ID allows you to scan your fingerprint and become a fingerprint scanner to unlock your device. Other than that, you do have, of course, NFC, which is available finally on the iPhone 6. Of course, the Galaxy Alpha has both of these two, and the additional hardware feature it has is going to be a heart rate monitor on the back, and that is going to be the main feature for hardware it has. However, you do have a removable battery on the Alpha, which you do not have the ability to do on the iPhone 6. It does, of course, have NFC, but the even bigger feature is that you do have lots of other features with Samsung that you do not have the ability to have on Apple. Some of them are using an entirely way to hide all of your photos and videos through private mode via the fingerprint scanner. My favorite is, of course, multi-window, allowing you to use 2 apps on the screen at once, something that we thought was coming to Apple but never did. And of course, ultra power saving mode, which gives you a really ridiculously long battery life that just the iPhone pales in comparison to. So for those extras, extras definitely just have to go to the Galaxy Alpha over the iPhone 6. price point. Price point is always an important feature when comparing two devices, and the price point difference between the iPhone 6 and the Galaxy Alpha is small. It is going to be the Alpha gives you the price point at $612.99 versus the iPhone 6 coming in at $649. They both actually are the same 2-year contract price. However, even if you break it down by payments, you're paying 27 versus 25 and 32 versus 30. So you are going to be paying more with the iPhone 6 regardless. And an important thing to keep in mind is that you get a better bang for your buck with the Galaxy Alpha simply because you have 32 gigs of storage built in as opposed to 16 gigs of storage built in at the same price point. For this reason, the Galaxy Alpha has to be given the price point award just because it gives you your better bang for your buck. Alright, let's tally these two up and see which one really is better for you, the Galaxy Alpha or the iPhone 6. Galaxy Alpha definitely wins the look and feel. This is the first time really Android really has won on the look and feel department against an iPhone product on this channel. It really is just because the Alpha really stands out in its design, its metal frame really makes it look good, and it just feels more comfortable, especially when you hold it in your hand. The backing isn't as slippery and just feels really good. In terms of web browsing, both are very good. They're just going to be pretty much equal for the most part, loading the same and moving at the same speed. In terms of music, the iPhone 6 is a bit louder comparing to the Alpha, and both are clear, but in terms of being able to listen to your music louder or watch a movie and really get into it, it's going to go for the music and sound on the iPhone 6. However, movies always will go to generally an LED screen over an LCD, just like it is when it comes to TVs, and therefore the Galaxy Alpha just is a better one, especially with the new AMOLED screens that Samsung has. It can be as neutral as any IPS screen, if not better, and more vibrant as only AMOLEDs can be. When it comes to camera quality, overall the Alpha was the better camera with the 12 megapixel sensor really proving an advantage, especially in detail, clarity, and better low light photos. So overall the Galaxy Alpha will be your better camera. When it comes to gaming, both run games really well, but the iPhone 6 does have more variety, at least at this point in time. So for right now, gaming will go to the iPhone 6 for more variety in games. When it comes to battery life, the Galaxy Alpha really beats the iPhone bad. It just did definitely have a better battery life in actual usage. However, both phones have a great standby time, and this is very important. If you're not using your phone, both will last very long, but with the iPhone, as always, you're going to want a Mophie case. For the extras category, the Galaxy Alpha just offers a little bit more, offering things such as removable battery and lots of software enhancements that Apple just can't compete with, such as multi-window, private mode, and ultra power save mode to give you days long battery life. Finally, when it comes to price point, the Galaxy Alpha is going to give you your better bang for your buck, being a lower price point phone and giving you 32 gigs of storage rather than 16. When we tally all these up, the winner is the Galaxy Alpha. Overall, it just is the better bang for your buck between the two devices. Better for watching movies, taking photos, lasting throughout the day, and giving you a better bang for your buck. However, the iPhone does have the better sound quality for music and more variety when it comes to gaming. So, depending on what you want and what you need, these are the phones you should get depending on the category you want. Hopefully you liked this video. Please give a like, thumbs up if you did. Thank you for watching. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy.